I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck and say that Zack Snyder's Justice League is my favorite DCEU movie, and I think one of my favorite Zack Snyder movies. It's up there with Watchmen and 300. Honestly, I think it can have that iconic status that both those movies have. It can easily have that. The movie is such a far cry from the original theatrical release. It's nothing like it, like at all. They've stripped so much and changed so much that you really have to wonder why they made some of these changes. And not only that, but the fact that characters of color were just stripped from the movie entirely by Josh Whedon. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to say anything, but it feels a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing though. I don't think that Zack Snyder's Justice League would have been amazing when it came out if he hadn't have stepped away for personal reasons. If he had actually dropped that movie, the movie that he originally wanted to, I really don't think it would have been good, because cutting this movie down to 2 hours is a crime, and we really gotta stop normalizing the 2 hour limit for movies. Some of the best movies out there are way longer than 2 hours, and that's why people love seeing series and binging them, because they love watching hours of content if it's a riveting story. So the fact that studios like, oh, you can't be past 2 hours, can't be past 2 hours and a half, and they just go on and on and on with this bullshit is just disgusting, because you end up cutting the vision and making the movie worse. I do think after years of Zack Snyder maybe looking back on Justice League and the way that he wanted things to go, looking back at the movie, having way more time on this movie to reflect on it and make changes to it and see what people didn't like from Justice League and other DCU movies and changing those things, because you know he did, and making a better cohesive movie. The fact that the movie was longer, original cut, added content, and it had more time to develop and cook, that is the reason that it is the juggernaut that it is right now. That is the reason that it is one of the best superhero movies that I've ever seen. It is up there in the Marvel zeitgeist. It is up there with the MCU movies, in my opinion. It is on that same level. Definitely better than some of the worst. Definitely better than some of the mediocre. Like, it's better than most of the Thor movies, most of the Ant-Man movies. Like, it is way better than that. Now, is it Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, Winter Soldier levels? No, I don't think it's that close. It's close to that, but it is up there. There really is not much to complain about this movie, guys. There really isn't. The only thing that I have to complain about is the ending. The ending scene that almost felt like Return of the King, where there were like multiple endings. I didn't mind that, because at that point I was just ready for more Justice League. I was ready for more Snyderverse, because I got so pumped from what just happened. But the nitpick that I have is the fact that they've already talked about not making any more Snyder movies. So that ending part, the last scenes of the movie with the nightmare sequences and stuff, that may never happen. So that kind of sucks. But I guess in its own way, maybe it just feels like what the distant future could have been in the Justice League, the Snyder cut. Like, if Superman had gone bad, maybe it feels that way if you like really think about it. But I do think that they wanted to make more movies, and Zack Snyder was just like, you know, fuck it, we're already 4 hours in, let's just throw more stuff into the movie and let it stick. And the scene between Batman and the Joker, to me, honestly, I didn't really like Jared Leto's Joker like at all in any movie that I've seen. This one is the most tolerable to me, but this one feels like what that Joker, if he was like a nightmare universe next to Batman, had like it felt like a realistic conversation between those two characters from the Snyderverse or from the DCU verse. It just felt that way. That was definitely that same Joker that we saw from a long time ago in the Suicide Squad. And apparently there is another cut of Suicide Squad. People are lobbying for that. I don't know if you can save that movie. To me, that is the worst movie in the DCEU. So if there is another cut and they let the guy come back and finish what he actually wanted to do with giving the Joker more time, more scenes, and making the plot a lot better, then yeah, or longer actually, then yeah, I'm down for it, honestly. At this point now, any series, any movie series that has fucked up or has had the studio fuck their movies up, I think they should lobby to get their movies remade in their original vision. Always go with the original vision, guys. Always go with the original vision, because If you don't, you get abominations like the Justice League, which is Josh Whedon's Justice League that came out a few years back. Like, everything was so good in this movie, man. Cyborg and the Flash were stars. Wonder Woman was Superman essentially in this movie. Like, whenever she was on screen, you knew shit was good. You knew that that she had it, but she's not on the same level as Superman. But she was definitely the strongest guy or strongest female there. Batman wasn't a joke. He was serious. He was dead serious. He wasn't making quips. He wasn't making jokes. He was the Batman from Batman v Superman, which, again, that was a good Batman in my opinion. He killed people, whatever. That's a Snyder version. I don't really care. As a person that loves Flashpoint and loves that evil, that sadistic Batman, he's not evil, but that more sadistic Batman, the one that has less morals, yeah, I don't really care about that stuff. And this one, he was fantastic. Aquaman, he was probably the most boring one because he was trying to make jokes. I guess he was trying to be more likable, but at the same time, he wasn't likable at all. He was more secluded of a character, but it was definitely a perfect setup for his Aquaman movie that would have came out, you know, after this, because he was more comfortable in that movie with his skin. And it felt like in the Justice League, he became comfortable, and then in Aquaman, he is comfortable. Do you get what I'm saying? So everybody had like great arcs. Superman came back and he was conflicted. He's a man that came back from death. He sees his family and he is actually having a touching moment with them instead of making jokes. I mean, some of the lines in the original Justice League, guys, like there's a line where Lois smells him and she's like, "You smell good." Like, what the fuck? All right, so that's what I'm talking about, man. The other nitpick that I have is Martian Manhunter. Liked him, liked the way he looked. The CGI could have been better, but whatever. I liked it, honestly, across the board with who he was, who the actor is, the fact that he was in hiding. Really cool. It seems like something that Martian Manhunter would do, but what doesn't seem like something that Martian Manhunter would do is not get involved, because he would have been there through all these crises, like in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman and this, and he really didn't even like jump in. So if there was a continuation to this, I need an explanation as to why he wouldn't jump in and affect the matters of the planet. A good explanation, not a shitty one. So I'm leaving that open-ended because they could give him a really cool story and make him a really cool character. So, you know, and actually explain this, which would make it better. Honestly, I want to watch it a few more times, but the 4-hour runtime is like the only thing scaring me on it. But I may just watch it in parts, you know, watch the first part, second part. There's 7 of them, so I think that's really good. The last thing that I want to talk about in the movie is the villains. So you have Steppenwolf, who is a massive upgrade to what he was back in the original Justice League. He's not an old man. He's not obsessed with mothers. He is a guy that fucked up at some point and is just trying to get back into his boss's good graces and stuff. And the fact that Darkseid and Desaad just kind of clown on him all throughout the whole movie, like they fucking clown on him hard, is kind of hilarious and sad at the same time. But this guy's not like a weakling. He's not like in The Last Jedi where that one guy was just getting thrown around everywhere. He actually is a threat, and you see him as a threat. He's strong, he's powerful, his armor's cool, his armor seems to absorb blows and stuff like that. So it's really cool character. I liked it a lot. Darkseid, the setup for Darkseid in this movie, I would have loved to see it in like Batman vs Superman or Man of Steel if they had done those movies more cohesive, you know, and made this a cohesive trilogy. If he was mentioned in that original movie, or a cutscene at the end where you see him like destroying worlds, cutscenes at both the end of those movies would have been fine with me, honestly. Batman vs Superman, it was kind of long, but it would have been a better setup. But this for 4 hours, great setup at the beginning. You know, you keep coming back to Steppenwolf talking to the side until he talks about the anti-life equation, and that is when Darkseid shows up. He's like, "Yo, what's up? That's all you gotta say, man. That's all you gotta say." Darkseid's like, "Yeah, anti-life equation. It's on Earth." I don't know how he forgot that, but he's like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Give me that equation, and you come back into the fold with Granny Goodness. You're cool with us." It was just a cool setup. The death of Steppenwolf was also awesome, and my favorite part in the entire movie was Flash. Now, Flash is a better character. He is more of a person. He's not just like, you know, Peter Parker. Like, it's crazy. He's not like that at all, really. He was like that in the original Justice League, but he's not like that here. He's more of a normal person. He's got a scene where he goes in slow motion to save a girl. He likes the girl. He has a moment with that girl right before that happens, where it's like love at first sight type of thing. So it would make sense that he slowed everything down, and he was kind of like staring her for a little bit, but I didn't find it too weird. You know, he actually did save her life, and then he goes back to playing with the dogs and stuff like that. And so yeah, to me that was fine, showing that he is a hero, that he will save people, and that he is in love with this girl, setting up his movie at the same time. So if it sets his movie up really good, that's great. And throughout the whole movie, great relationship with Cyborg, great relationship with Aquaman, and then he saves the fucking day. I've always wanted to see a speedster use his powers to reverse time or go through time. I've always wanted to see a Flashpoint movie, and as a huge Flashpoint fan, this was awesome. Like, it flowed so well. They lost. The planet got destroyed. I did not see that coming at all. I was like, wait, what? And then so they were all destroyed. Even Superman. It's crazy. And then, like, as the explosion's coming, the Flash, like, slows it down, and then, like, he heals himself on top of that. That was cool, man. He heals himself. He's cut, and he shows that he's not like invincible. Like, if he gets hit, he's just like a normal guy. He's just really fast. And I like the fact that when he got hit, it was realistic, that he was like winded, he was hurt, he was bleeding out. It was real good acting. And then he explains that he's got to go fast, he's got to break the rules, he's got to do it now. I love that line, honestly. It does explain what he's doing to everybody, but it felt like, as a character that talks a lot, he was talking to himself, pumping himself up, like, let's do this, I gotta do this, man, or else we're all dead. And him going back in time to save everyone was great. He touched Cyborg, and then it just flows into Cyborg seeing his parents, breaking apart the Unity. It was just such a great ending. And then from there, you go to Steppenwolf's death, you go to Darkseid saying we use the old ways. It's just their standoff between the boom tubes, like, dude, it was like one of the best villain deaths, one of the best climaxes to a superhero movie I've ever seen. It's crazy how good it was, and to me, I'm just so happy as a Snyder fan that has at some level loved all his movies, even some of the ones that don't do as good, and one that wanted the Snyder cut out as soon as possible. Some of the earliest videos on this channel were about the Snyder cut. This was everything that I needed, plus and then some. It was great. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought of the Snyder cut. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is going to be Sunscape signing off. Take care, guys.